Oh, we are back once again. Uh, that took. Well, actually, that took exactly how long I expected it to take. Uh, uh, okay. Wait, let's switch to the intermission while we get situated back into our learning groove. I had to rush a little bit to make it to the interview, but I made it. Now, in the meantime, I'm gonna check a few things. Okay, what is this? Client. Talent jobs login. Okay. Create a user. I'm not a robot. So, register using email. Okay. Email token. Let's take a look. All right, that seems correct. Okay, so bum 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 bum. Let's see. Nothing in my documents. Okay. When did I send this? Last 2 months. Huh. Interesting. Just been blah 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 blah. Projects. Base and application modeling, providing support services, involvement in product implementation for customers. Huh. Well, I was expecting more on like a breakdown of things, but okay. Let's reply. So that. Okay. Every developer in Mega starts a training course in AppFrame. Okay, let's take a look at what AppFrame entails. AppFrame architecture, technology, Azure, native app, web, Bootstrap, Flutter, Android, .NET, SQL, DevExpress, Power BI, Android, iOS. Okay, DevTools. Tools, download, scale templates. Okay, that's not exactly what I was looking for. Basics. User status and get users having high permission. Blah, 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 blah. User access. Understanding domains. Cover security aspects related to concept of domains. Blah, blah, blah. Very interesting. Don't play with your bed. You have to play with your toys, not with your bed. Mr. Thor. Services, code snippets, web. Okay. Can't log in. Can't see that. Codecs. There's a lot of information here. Data API, REST API, setup REST API. Okay, I'm not entirely sure. What am I supposed to be looking at here? Doggy. Yes, it's Doggy, or at least his legs. Well, I guess I just send them back an email asking where the hell am I supposed to look? Because I have no idea. The app frame? App frame, app frame. App frame. I don't know, I suppose. Okay, I guess we'll hear from them later on where exactly is the information. Because I don't see it. Technology, data layer, views, web, Windows Media, integrations, authentications, data object, CRUD, query, parameterization, object permission, replication, cloud management, Microsoft, blah, 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 blah. Technology documentation portal. So not much info here. I mean, okay, Android, Flutter, .NET. The hell's .NET? Do do do. Do 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 do. Okay, well, we'll check this out later. Let's get back into our backend engineering. All right. I'm just gonna check. Oh yeah, okay. Everything should be working. Everything should be just as how we left it. Except for... Where's my webcam? There it is. For some reason, the labels don't want to stay where they're supposed to stay. No, you shouldn't be. Visible. There we go. Okay. So we're adding click interactivity. We're looking at the... Essentially, we're selecting an element, which is a button, and then we're assigning that element an on-click function. And inside the function body, or like anonymous function, I guess. Oh, not necessarily. To a function by name. Oh, like so. Okay, so we're essentially declaring an anonymous function and we are telling it what to do. So element style background color equals blue. Okay, so we can also assign the onClick property to a function by name. So this is identical, except we declare this like a normal function and then do this on the function call itself, or on the function name. So in the above example code, when the button element detects a click event, the background color will change to blue. All right, so essentially what we're doing here is same thing, element dot style dot background color equals red. Assign the style color to white. Element dot style dot color equals white. And then modify the inner HTML to red button. So element dot inner HTML equals red button. Right? Right. And below our turn button red function definition, trigger the function when the element detects a click event. So we can just do element dot on click equals turn button red, right? Yep. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Straightforward stuff. And a review. So in this lesson, we manipulated a web page structure by leveraging the document object model interface in JavaScript. So what we've learned: document keyword grants access to the root of the DOM of the DOM in JavaScript. The DOM interface allows you to select a specific element with the CSS selectors by using the query selector method. You can access an element directly by its ID with getID, by class with getClassName, by tag with getTagName, and call a single element by referencing its placement in the array. The inner HTML and style properties allow you to modify an element by changing its contents or style, respectively. You can create, append, and remove elements by using the create element, append child, and remove child methods, respectively. The onClick property can add interactivity to DOM element based on a click event. The children property returns a list of all of an element's children, and the parent node property returns the element's closest connected node in the direction towards the root. Okay, let's take a look at the video of Polite Bear again. I've missed Polite Bear. Here's Polite Bear. He's so polite. Just look at him. Extremely polite. Taking a bath before taking you out on a date. Other bears don't do that. Other bears just eat you. Alright, let's go. Which of the following is true about the document object model? Is a logical structure where every node is disconnected. What? No. Is a linear logical structure. Is a tree-like logical structure. Is a cyclic logical structure. Is a tree-like logical structure. Yep. Which property can be used to set an anonymous function to run when the element is clicked? On click. Which of the following is not correct about DOM nodes? The root node is the topmost node of the DOM tree. That's correct. The text of an HTML element can be represented by a DOM node. That's true. An HTML element can be represented by a DOM node. That's true. All of the nodes of DOM tree must be of the same time. That's wrong. Yep. Which of the following is correct regarding the document get element by ID method? So we're trying to get blue order by its ID. The variable div with border will contain the reference to an HTML element with the class blue order. No. An HTML element with blue border color must exist in the DOM to get the reference to that element using this line of code. No. An HTML element with ID blue order must exist in the DOM in order to get the reference to that element using the line of code. Yes. And the variable would contain the contents of an HTML element. No, it will just contain the element itself. Okay, complete the code to create and append an additional list item element with the content earth to the existing unordered list element with the ID of list. So we create an element and then document create text node. The hell? Create text node. I guess there is a function like that, or a method. Node append child. Document get element by ID list. Add child. Add node. Append child. Append an additional list item element with the content earth. So we're appending text onto node, and then we have to append node onto the list element. Yep. Structure the HTML code to represent the DOM parent-child relationship, where the parent element is the div with a 2 paragraph elements as children. So div, paragraph, paragraph. How do you set the value of a CSS property background color using JavaScript? Element style, background color, no. Background color there. Which of the following best describes the given Java code block? Let anchor, what are we doing here? Getting an element by its ID, contact link, and then removing the child from its parent node. Parent node. Okay, it removes an element with ID contact link from the parent node element. Yes. How would you set the inner HTML of the following paragraph element using JavaScript? So, how would you set the inner HTML of the following paragraph element using JavaScript? So, document get element by ID paragraph dot inner HTML equals hello world. Style display? No. Document get element by ID. It's the first one. What cannot be done with the help of DOM? Permanently change the content of the source HTML file. Add a specific HTML element to a website's view. Delete a specific element from a website's view. Modify the content of a specific HTML element. I guess the source HTML file. We can dynamically modify the web page in a browser. However, it cannot modify the actual file hosted in the server. Makes sense. Complete the code to get the reference to an ordered list element that has a list item child element within the ID first item. So that has a list item child. So we obviously know. No. First item here. Because we are accessing the child element first. And then we're accessing the ordered list, which is child dot parent node. I think, yes. Complete the code below to create an H2 element and add it to the body of the HTML document. So, document create element, use banner. No. Let use banner equals document create element. H2. And then we take wait, creating objects, creating elements, creating them. and then not creating them. Let news banner equal document dot create element h2. Can't remember. I think it's like this. And so then we assign we add text to it. And then document body append child to the body of news banner. I think so. Yes. All right. Which JavaScript method can return the first element that matches a specified selector? So query selector, is that a trick question? What does the given element variable contain? It contains the entirety of the document's body, or the reference to the contents of the body element. Contains location of the HTML document. Contains text document.body. Alright. Which of the following statements is true about DOM nodes? If an HTML element has a class attribute that will not be accessible through the DOM. Okay. If an HTML anchor element has an href attribute. No. The DOM nodes of type text allow access to the same attributes available to HTML elements. But the DOM nodes of type text allow access to the same attributes available to HTML elements. No, because typically text elements have no children. I think. The DOM nodes of type element allow access to the same attributes available to HTML elements. Well, I think that's the most logical one, yeah. And which of the given statements is true regarding the JavaScript document object? Okay, so the document object provides an interface to browse the web page. The document object provides a JavaScript interface to access the DOM. The document object provides a shell interface to access the DOM. The document object provides an SQL interface. JavaScript interface. Hey, 100%. Let's continue. Ooh. Okay, video time. Let's watch a video. Let's disable ThorCam for now.
What's up, everybody? I'm Brendan, and today I'll be walking you through how to get up and running with JavaScript on your HTML website. Now, I am assuming you've already watched the Getting Started with a Text Editor, HTML, and CSS videos. If not, I highly suggest you start with those.
Oh, you highly suggest.
Beginner's knowledge of how to use a text editor, as well as the fundamentals of HTML and CSS. Now, how this video is going to work is first I'm going to show you my completely static site, meaning there's no JavaScript hooked up to it. It's just HTML and CSS. I'm then going to show you how to use the Google Chrome developer tools. Within these tools, which are this powerful toolkit that comes pre-baked into most modern-day web browsers, is I'm going to show you how web developers on a daily basis use JavaScript to manipulate what they see on a website. I'm then going to switch back over to the text editor and physically show you how to hook up a JavaScript file to an HTML file. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to copy and paste some pre-written JavaScript code. Again, not going to explain that code line by line, but just show you some of the features that I've built using JavaScript that will hopefully kind of serve as a nice little appetizer as to the types of things we'll be teaching you how to build and incorporate into your own site in the next few lessons here on Codecademy.com.
Appetizer?
So, let's jump into it. What I have opened here is my static website I created using HTML and CSS. By static, I mean my website is not interactable. Nothing happens when you click on these buttons, when you hover over this image, or you type something and hit submit.
Gritty
of course,
again.
The default behavior for a form component in HTML is to refresh the page, which is going to do right now. But the point is that you can't really interact with this site the way I planned on users interacting with the site. And that is because my JavaScript file is not hooked up to my site. Let me zoom in again here, give you a better view of Gritty's beautiful face.
Ooh, that face.
I don't know, I should probably know this, but anyway, the first thing I want to talk about is how what we see in our web browser
He looks more like a
the code we write in
gremlin.
text editors fit together. So to illustrate this relationship, I'm first going to open up the Google Chrome Developer Tools, and I open up this tab right here by right-clicking and then clicking Inspect. And it might take a second to load, but we have our developer tools over here opened up on the right pane. First thing I'm going to do is kind of open these things up. So bear with me real quick. Get that all opened up.
No, took too long.
I'm
Stop the video.
By the way, by clicking on the triangles. Open that, this. Oh man, I have to do this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I just want you to kind of take in, I guess I can open this too. Take in what we're looking at here. And okay, hopefully you were able to see all of that right there. Now I'm going to switch back over to my index.html file, and you'll quickly realize that the code that we're looking at right here in my text editor and over here in the developer tools in the elements tab is basically the same thing.
I mean,
why is that?
not necessarily. As far as I know, there are ways to essentially hide things and hide HTML from what the users are able to see on the like Chrome DevTools on a website. But yeah, okay.
Actually messing with our code in our index.html file itself. Well, I'm going to kind of let you marinate on that question for a bit.
Wait, what was the question?
Index.html file. In our index.html file. Why is that? Are we actually messing with our code in our index.html file itself? Well, I'm going to kind of let you marinate on my text editor, and over here in the developer tools in the elements tab is basically the same thing. Why is that? Are we actually messing with our code in our index.html file itself?
Well, because any changes that you make in the Chrome DevTools, they're going to disappear as soon as you reload the website.
Well, I'm going to kind of let you marinate on that question for a bit, and what I'm going to do is do something that might scare you a little bit. So I'm going to click on, you can actually click on these separate little HTML elements in this elements tab. I'm going to click that and hit delete, and you'll notice that Gritty's face is absolutely destroyed, gone.
No, Gritty.
And you might be thinking, well, we're not going to be able to get that back. We literally just edited our index.html file. Well, if I actually refresh, it comes right back to us.
Yep.
So what are we actually looking at here?
Now you have to open all those tabs again.
For what this code that we're looking at represents. It represents a DOM. Now, DOM stands for Document Object Model, and it is basically just a virtual representation of the code over here that we had fed to our web browser. So this file and our style.css file, which styles that HTML, we take those files, we pass it to the web browser. The web browser reads those files and then constructs a virtual representation of those documents, And we're actually able to kind of live edit them in this Elements tab over here. So we're not actually working with our original index.html file itself or our styles in our CSS folder
But
itself.
here's the question, right? Because I keep hearing the references, or like they keep saying the same thing, like you can work here, you can work here, you can work here. But is there actually a way to, once you work here, like you do a bunch of changes, right? And is there a way to apply those changes to the HTML file, the one that's sitting in the server or like on your computer or whatever? And so far, maybe, but I guess that's what I'm mostly interested in.
We're working with a virtual representation of our code. So when we delete things and delete this and delete that, and we refresh, it's fine. We're not working with our actual copy of our code. We're working with a copy, a virtual representation, a document object model of our site. In the next few lessons on Codecademy, you're actually going to learn more in depth about what exactly this document object model, or DOM for short, is. But
We
for
already
now, just
did that.
know that we can use languages like JavaScript to interact with this DOM. When you change the DOM, you change what is being displayed in our web browser. So how can we use JavaScript to change the DOM? Well, I'm going to navigate over to the console tab in the Google Chrome Developer Tools, and I'm going to type the word document. Now this gives us access to the DOM. So click on that. Open this up, you'll see that what we're looking at is this virtual representation of our site.
Okay.
So we can actually change the content of that site. But before I show you that, this console, you should think of this console basically just like a JavaScript sandbox. It is able to parse normal old JavaScript, and that includes arithmetic, for loops, basically every part of JavaScript is able to be written and parsed and read in this environment, in this JavaScript sandbox called the console.
Yes.
I'm going to declare a variable, call it date, and I'm going to actually set that equal to a new date object. Let's make sure that was registered. Okay, so date now has this date object saved to it. And what am I going to do? I'm going to use the power of JavaScript to change the content of our DOM. And when we change that, what is being displayed to us is this virtual representation, this DOM. It's going to result in us physically changing what we're able to look at right here over here in the window. So let's type in document.body. This gives us access to the actual body of our HTML, or the body representation of our HTML file. And then I'm actually going to type in inner HTML and set that equal to a string, and you will learn what inner HTML is in the next few lessons.
Already did.
But basically what we're doing is we're passing HTML tags as strings to this inner HTML property of the document body, and we'll actually be able to change what we see in the browser. So let's say gritty king on, and then join that string with this date object, date, and then what else do we want to add? Plus a period. Actually, no. Long may he reign. Oops.
Long may he reign.
All right.
Greetings raining
Hit enter
over everyone.
All right. So, as you can see, we can use JavaScript to change the contents of the DOM, aka our virtual representation of our website, what our web browser constructs from the files we send it. So, with this in mind, let's move back over to our text editor and actually add JavaScript to our site. So I'm in my index.html file, And I'm going to use the script tag, and then I'm going to pass it a src attribute, short for source. And this is where we would actually paste a path to a particular file that includes JavaScript, or that contains JavaScript. Now, we haven't created that file yet, so let's do that. I just right-clicked on this sidebar here.
I've eaten 0 mascots since yesterday.
I'm going to say gritty.js. Now, the .js is very important here. The reason why we're ending this file and every other file that we see, index.html, style.css, is that our browser relies on these file extensions in order to use the proper language to parse whatever's in this file. So every web browser that would read the gritty.js file knows that whatever is typed in here is JavaScript. So the first thing I'm going to type here is just a simple little trick here. What do we want to alert to our screen when this JavaScript file loads? My world. What the heck am I thinking? Hello world. Okay, so let's save that. Go over to our index.html file. Okay, so let's pass that file path, gritty.js, to our index.html file. So because our gritty.js and our index.html file exist on the same level of our folder structure, we're going to use the syntax dot, which means stay where you are, index.html file. Don't go down, don't go up in the folder structure. Just look on the same structure that you're located in and look for a file called gritty.js.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that you don't need the dot slash if it's on the same file structure level. But okay, I guess we'll test it out once we start doing stuff ourselves.
Okay, so I'm going to save that, and that, if we've done everything correctly, means that we have correctly linked to a JavaScript file from our index.html file, which means we're in fact up and running with JavaScript. So if I refresh that page, we should see something. Yep, hello world. So we have been alerted, hello world, which means that we have successfully incorporated JavaScript into our site. Now there's something I want to point out here, and that's the fact that this script tag is located all the way at the bottom. It's basically the last element in our body section of our index.html file.
Yes.
It's very important that we put it here.
I don't like how he wrote script here.
And nowhere else.
Or how he put the script tags here, because it's bugging me. Either write it on the same line or... No, just write it on the same line.
And the reason is that, generally speaking, JavaScript is used amongst many things to manipulate the DOM, like we did back in our developer tools. We manipulated the content from the console. JavaScript is most times used to manipulate what we see in our web browser. So for a real-world example, you can think of modern web applications like Twitter or Facebook. The window or the website changes based on how we, the user, interact with it. Think about when you click on a heart on a tweet. You notice how the style of that heart changes to red, and the number of likes increases or increments by 1. That is all through JavaScript manipulating the DOM. Because the code within an HTML file is read and subsequently loaded line by line by our browser from top to bottom, if we placed our JavaScript script tag anywhere above the line...
The feel when the guy isn't using the prettier extension, also light mode on VS Code. Welcome back, Checkum. What is the prettier extension, though?
Right before our closing body.
Pretty sure I'm not using it either. At least I'm using night mode.
Body tag here. And let's say that JavaScript we had written relied on some HTML that had not been loaded. Our code would error out and our website would subsequently break.
It formats your code for you?
As the last element within our HTML body, we're ensuring that all of our HTML will load before our JavaScript.
It's like the prettify thing. Prettifies. Yeah, I get it.
Script does. And if that JavaScript relied on our HTML, it would work correctly since it's already been loaded in the lines above. All right, so I've gone and copied my pre-written JavaScript code, and I'm going to remove this line and paste that code here. Save that. I'm not going to explain this line by line, but you should notice something familiar at the top, document. So just like in our console, we use document to gain access to the DOM. In this JavaScript file, I'm also using this document object.
I know about documents.
Certain elements.
They're made of paper.
So there's different types of selectors that you can use.
And paper's made out of trees.
JavaScript, I'm using the get element by ID, literally like a CSS ID, to grab that element off the DOM and then do with it what I want. So let's save that, refresh, and see what I've added to my site. So you're noticing here, rotate left, rotate right, it's controlling the style of this image tag. So how is that working? Well, some of the things that you'll be learning in the next few lessons here on Codecademy is that you can use JavaScript to listen to certain activity.
Well, we already learned it.
Am I listening for? I'm listening for a button click on this button. When this button is clicked, rotate left, I'm saying grab the gritty image.
Yes.
And we can define, using JavaScript, events that trigger certain functions when a mouse enters or exits a div.
Listeners, not events.
My mouse is going to enter this box, and as soon as the mouse enters the box, what I've done is I've defined a function that uses the DOM to grab the gritty face and then change its CSS style to make it invisible. And then again, when this mouse leaves this certain div with this orange border, I'm firing off another function that says toggle gritty's face back.
Gritty can't be scrolled over.
Real world example. I've replicated Twitter down here, a very simple version of Twitter. It basically consists of
when you learn about documents in MongoDB, or maybe you already saw those. No, we haven't touched MongoDB yet. I don't think we will. I think we're going to work with PostgreSQL.
Of a HTML form element. Now, what I'm doing using JavaScript is I'm saying, let me first think of a clever message here. Oh boy, I'm really gritty. What does he like to do? He's a psychopath.
He's a psychopath?
He eats other mascots.
He eats other mascots, apparently. Okay.
Dear diary, I lied this morning about eating mascots. Okay, so what I've done with JavaScript is I've added a listener to this form element that waits for it to be submitted. Once it's submitted, I take the contents of this input and I create a new
blah blah blah
backend technology that JavaScript can handle. But we'll talk more and more. Hopefully that was a good intro into how the first thing we talked about is we wrote some Java.
Yes. Okay. So he didn't answer my initial question, I guess, for which you weren't here, Checkham, but like they keep emphasizing that, oh, you can work in the DOM, you know, in the console, you can use JavaScript in your console, you can change the elements, blah, 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 but everything resets when you restart. So is there a way to do changes here, but then somehow either save them or export them to your original HTML file or JS file? Or do you have to manually then rewrite everything back into your HTML file? Because you can basically access everything. You can access CSS files from here. You can access the JS in your console going to be temporary. Yeah. Yeah. But if I'm working here, right? Obviously, I have an HTML and a JS and a CSS files on my server or on a computer. You don't work here? Do tests here. Okay. Okay, so it's just for testing it out, quote unquote. I can't like I can't have an empty uh HTML file and then build my website out here and then just like click a button and everything gets transferred to the HTML file. It's not how it works, is it? Be absolutely horrible. I mean, why? It would be awesome. Obviously not for, if you don't own the website, you just go to YouTube, change half their code, and then send that to servers. But like, you could, I don't know, have some kind of authorized login and blah, blah, blah. Text editors give tools to help you create something. There isn't any tool on there. That's a shame. Because I imagine it would be nice to like immediately see your changes as you like work here. And then, okay, you're like, okay, I'm done working. Click save. Just a representation of your DOM. Okay. Well, that's a shame. Okay. Let's quickly take a look. Maybe the people wrote back. Where should I actually look for the material that I'm supposed to be sort of self-assessing myself against? Gmail. No. And to make data's permanent on your app, you can either use local storage or a database. Yeah, okay. What is this? Blah, blah, blah. Taking a thorough look, and it's tough to say this, but it turns out this role. Whatever. The local storage have a lifespan, usually 1 month, I believe. Okay. Well, we'll get there when we get there. So, had an interesting, I don't know, I wouldn't even call it a job interview. They kind of just scoped me out, I suppose. I sent them my CV, and yeah, it's basically, I don't know how much I can reveal here, to be honest. I guess I can say the company. It's Omega 365. Have you heard of that company? Check them. Not as well, sort of web dev. It's more of a software engineer position. No idea what that company is. Okay, essentially, from what I gathered from them, because I did look at their website before the interview to just get a grasp of who they are. But from what they told me, is that they essentially work with massive international projects and provide essentially a software uh, backbone to all those projects. So like some country is building wind farms somewhere, so they're the ones who provide all the software for that. We can actually go to their website, Omega 365. And the guy that I was interviewing with, he's like, Well, not many people have heard of us, but that's fine because we don't spend any money on marketing. we we get our clients from our clients. So, services. Yeah, software solutions. Efficiently deriving projects of all sizes with the project management tool PIMS. Yeah, so they have two platforms. They have PIMS, which is sort of their older version, and then they have the Omega 365 platform. So they basically do software for massive, massive projects. Even though wind farms are not best solution. I gave it just an example. Um, but yeah, they essentially, from what I understood, they require a decent knowledge of SQL. No, they actually work on the backbone of .NET. They do a lot of SQL. They do a lot of JavaScript. Um, what else? Actually, wait. I'm gonna hop into the intermission. They did send me an email to, in essence, look through their tech stack, but it's not entirely informative in terms of .NET is C, C++, and C Sharp. Oh. Oh, come to think about it, they did ask me about whether I know any C Sharp or C++ or C in general. Wait, where was it? It's super easy. I mean, yeah, it's super easy to learn, but it can get complex. I'm not sure how much I can show of this. Even CSS can get hellish, yeah. Let's take a look. Technology. So on the client side, they have Flutter, Android, iOS, Bootstrap, Power BI, HTML, CSS, CSS, DevExpress, blah, blah, blah. Then the APIs, .NET, and the database SQL Server. Data layers, views, stored procedure, triggers, constraints, functions, table row permissions. I don't know. Okay, well, let's leave that for later. But I guess my point is that essentially what they're saying is that every person coming to work in their company, now, no matter the uh, experience level, in a sense, they have to go through this like sort of onboarding thing. It's sort of like training to train up on what they work with, fill in any missing gaps or something, and so on and so forth. After that, you get a technical interview. And then you're offered a job. So I don't know. Like, seems like a massive company, a pretty decent opportunity. Speedrun C then? I might take a look at that. You'll have all the knowledge you need to fit in. Yeah. Even though the guy that I was talking to, he sort of highlighted that I should be focusing on SQL more than C, at least in the beginning. These low level languages hurt, I bet. You can imagine, yeah. So, yeah, I have a decision to make in terms of what I want to do. Is that because any job like offer that I accept seriously, like obviously I'll have to learn stuff for all the jobs that I can get at my level. Um, but my idea was sort of like, okay, I'm streaming and I'm learning programming, which I enjoy immensely. But if I start working, then I won't be able to stream, or I won't be able to stream as much, likely. So, but I still want to stream. So, I don't know. So I have two options. I either go and work and I don't stream, or stream not as much, or I focus more on the path of like learning programming, and then after that, I just work on my own projects while streaming, and hopefully someday I turn some profit from streaming and from those projects that I make. If I was you for that specific job, I'd learn the main concepts of low level languages like CSQL, then streaming would pass second. Probably just stream some side projects. Yeah, it's what I'm leaning towards as well. Because I don't know, they seem like my first impression and the feeling that I get is that they seem like a reputable, strong company that they're not afraid to take a chance on new people, that they have resources to train up those people, that you probably won't be bored at their company because the scope that they work in is just huge. And I don't know. Surprised that they don't ask for insane level. Yeah, I was surprised that I was surprised as well. All they really ask for. Maybe I can actually open the job. Wait, 1 second. Once again, I don't know how much I can show of their like inner platform workings. Because their requirements are fairly basic. Okay, so qualifications. Under required, they require higher IT education or relevant working experience, fluency in English, self-discipline and inner motivation, and then willingness to acquire new skills and knowledge. That's it. And then desired would be strong database development skills using Microsoft SQL Server, including tables, views, triggers, stored procedures, and functions to implement business logic. Then backend development using .NET, web development using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Bootstrap, and then mobile application development using Flutter. That's it. Yeah. So, I mean, I have HTML, CSS, I'm getting JavaScript now. I do have Bootstrap. .NET, so I'm missing .NET, SQL, a little bit of SQL. I need to brush up on that and get into deeper intermediate aspects. And then Flutter, I guess. If I was you, I wouldn't hesitate for more than 5 minutes. I mean, I guess, yeah. So maybe we'll be learning SQL in the future or on tomorrow's stream. Okay, so basics. I know that. Select name, I got that. Select from world, I know that. Blah blah blah. Select within select, I have that. Sum count, I know. Join, I know. Join operations, I know. Using null, not sure. Numeric examples. We look at survey and deal with some complex calculations. So, I mean, I don't know. I know selects, I know creates and drops, inserts and deletes, dates and times. Sort of know functions. Probably don't know users. Metadata. It's been so long I haven't done any scale. Blame frameworks that do the request for us. I completely forgot everything basically. Oh yeah. It's the same thing really. Because in the bootcamp I did learn SQL and like the actual SQL. And then my teacher was like, "Okay, like we're learning SQL, but you probably won't be using it much because we're going to work with this framework that has like the requests integrated into it." So, okay. Though I would still like to finish with JavaScript at the very least. We still have JavaScript syntax part 3, which is classes, modules, error handling, pair programming, classes. So we might finish that and then jump into SQL. You're never finished with JS. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. Uh, but in terms of the unit, I mean, because I don't see. I guess also something that would be interesting to check out would be the async JavaScript stuff. Hmm. The JS superset. What's that? TypeScript? Is that a language? I've seen some people doing TypeScript stuff, but I haven't looked into what it actually is. Buffed JS, basically. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any more JS related stuff here. Well, relational databases would be nice because they have triggers. Okay. I think I'm gonna actually sit down today after stream and using Codecademy, probably. I'm gonna pick and choose things from this course and then possibly from other courses and from the requirements of the job. And I'm gonna build a sort of custom learning path that we will probably follow from now on. I think that's the most logical solution here. Do you agree, Checkham? Do I have your seal of approval? If you feel crazy, you could do 30 days of GS. What is this? Is this some exercises? Navigate through the table with these blue links on the main page. Oh. Oh, it's essentially learning. Are there exercises here? Requirements setup, install, adding JavaScript to a website, day one introduction. Uh, Yep, exercises for every sections. Okay. Well, we'll see. Because I imagine at this point, a lot of the stuff is gonna be duplicating with Codecademy. Yeah, introduction, data types, variables. Had to get back to it like 4 times to complete it. Well, yeah, repetition isn't a problem. Unless maybe for the basic stuff like variables. What is a variable? I don't know. I've only learned it twice. In JavaScript and in Python. Okay. Lots of exercises. Damn. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I'm just poking a little bit of fun. Okay. Like I said, I'll probably sit down today after the stream and build a proper learning path. I might incorporate some of this as well. Because essentially our equivalent in Codecademy would be deconstructing, spreading, regulator expressions, console object methods, error handling classes. guess somewhere around here, day 11. They jump into DOM at day 22 and event listeners. So we'd be sort of halfway through this. Yeah, so I'll build a learning path, and we can probably review it tomorrow. Just maybe if you're interested, check and we can go through it together and add things and remove things as needed. Yeah, arrays, objects, DOM functions are the ones you use every day. They're the most important to me. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get that. All right. Let's oh my god. Probably shouldn't be disabling my cam like that anyway. Okay, let's finish the day with what we're learning today, and tomorrow we'll see. So, what is an event? When you refresh your email inbox, double tap on a post, scroll through the newsfeed, something cool happens in your browser. These actions are known as events. Events on the web. Oh, excuse me. Yawning is attacking me. Events on the web are user interactions and browser manipulations that you can program to trigger functionality. Some of these examples of events are mouse clicking a button, web files loading in the browser, a user swiping right on an image. When a user does any of the above actions, they're causing an event to be fired or be triggered. As in, yes, being able to respond to these events makes your website interactive and therefore dynamic. So, click the plus button to increase the measurements of the ingredients. Boop, 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 boop. Hover over the instructions to see the estimated cook time. Oh, that's cool. Click on the highlighted ingredients in the instructions for facts about the food or the ingredients. Click, click. Oh, it appears here. I would have done it differently. Give me all the facts. Rosemary will bring excellent flavor to the chicken. I agree. Wait, you're from France? Check him. Okay. La baguette. The guy that I was talking to, he was from Italy, I think. Yeah, he said Italy. Can't even type my own language, Sag. I don't know. I wanted to learn French in high school, but my high school being a small school, we had to pick. My class had to pick between Russian and French, and whichever got chosen the most, that would be the language that the entire class would be learning. So most of them chose Russian, unfortunately. All right, let's go. Firing events. Middle Europe? No. Technically, I'm from northern Europe. But if I say that, you're probably not going to guess which country. Because most people don't associate that country with Northern Europe. but geopolitically, it counts as Northern Europe, which was news to me. Just guessed it because you have 1 more hour than me. Oh, yeah. So after a specific event fires on a specific element, I mean, it's also in my Twitch about me section, so you don't really have to guess. An event handler function can be triggered as a response. In this lesson, we will learn more about event handler functions that modify and update DOM elements after an event fires. Let's compare the firing event to something more familiar: a dog trained to eat when they hear a sound of a bell. Pavlovian conditioning. Yes. We got time to read those. Read what? Oh, who got time to read those? I've actually Pavlovian conditioning my dog to expect food when my alarm clock rings. Because when he was little, well, he's still little, but when he was littler, uh, he should be eating like at least minimum 4 times a day. So I'd set alarm clocks to remind myself to give him more food. And so he learned to expect food when my alarm clock rings. So now every morning my alarm clock rings, he comes over to me and he's like, "Give food. What are you doing? Wake up, give food." As you can see in the... Okay, let's not mess with this childish stuff. JavaScript is a programming... All right, now it's time to dive into using event handler functions to create interactivity. Using the add event listener method, we can have a DOM element listen for a specific event and execute a block of code when the event is detected. Did I draw it? No, I didn't draw it, Kek. How's it going, Kek? My cat does the same, but I just have to breathe. She's always hungry. Oh, yeah. Cats do be that way. Me existing triggers her hungriness. Kek. You missed a few things. We're gonna probably be doing some... How should I say it? Learning path adjustments. We'll be focusing a little bit more on SQL, .NET, probably some C, and so on. We'll get more in depth into that tomorrow. Okay, so blah blah blah. We can listen to events. Add event listener, click, and function. So we select our event target from the DOM. Okay. And then we add an event listener to it. We specify which event, and then we specify what happens when it gets triggered. Takes 2 arguments. We specify here what happens. This is an anonymous function. Am I a Windows dev? Are you asking me or Checkham? Because I'm not. I don't consider myself a dev at all. I consider myself a wannabe programmer person. .NET is basically Windows apps. Oh. Well, yeah, I guess I'm aspiring Windows dev. So the event listener method takes in two arguments, an event name in a string format and an event handler function. But it's weird how we define a function within a method. Instead of using anonymous functions as the event handler, it's best practice to create a named event handler function. Your code will remain organized and reusable this way, even if your code gets complex. Yeah, makes sense. And then you just write in the function. All right, let's look at the browser and notice that there are two elements, one containing informational text about JavaScript and a button. When the button is clicked, there should be more text that appears. Currently, clicking the button doesn't seem to do anything. You're going to create an event handler to fix this. First, create a function called showInfo, which we will use as the event handler function to make the hidden element containing the additional informational text appear when the click event fires. Inside the function, create a statement that changes the display style property of the more info element to block. Wow. I'd recommend learning the memory management from C, but deep dive into C++ or C# to learn object-oriented programming. Damn it, I need to write these down somewhere. Let's see. Where do I create this new thingamabob? Ah, there we go. So things to learn, possibly. All right, so we probably gonna need memory management in C, and then C++, C#. Right. SQL Advanced. Then .NET. What else was it? I guess Flutter. Okay, I'll review this later. Just typing things off the top of my head right now. TS React Express and SGS are to get an actual job, so it's not the same mindset. Only scratched the surface, but I enjoyed C and Java because I learned those for fun. I mean, yeah. You only learn things. Well, I guess not necessarily, but I don't think you learn stuff when you're not having fun. You're just forcibly cramming that into your brain, and then it occupies space there. All right, so we have to create a function called showInfo. Okay. Which we will use as the event handler function to make the hidden element containing the additional information text more info appear when the click event fires. Inside the function, create a statement that changes the display style property of the more info element to block. So more info dot style dot display becomes block. Correct? Maybe. Just less enjoyable, but whatever. I'll have fun when I'll go to amusement parks with them. Yeah, I suppose. So that's correct. Now create an event handler for a click using the add event listener, use read more as the event target, and show info as the event handler function. Okay, so read more dot add event listener click block click and go info. Yep. Boom. Okay. So how you been, Kek? What are you up to? How's your wait, let me remember what you were working on. You were writing your own language? I think. No? Because you're doing a lot of things. Reading about typewriters and other things. That ended the day started. I've become sick and yet to pick up. Oh, sorry to hear that, man. Well, as long as you plan to pick it up again. It's not gone, you know. We've looked at registering event handlers using add event listener method, but there's also another way. Event handlers can also be registered by setting a one event property on a DOM element. Okay. So the pattern for registering a specific event is to append an element with .on, followed by the lowercase event type. Okay, well, we've seen this. Here we give the DOM element event target the onClick property and set its value as the event handler function. It's important to know that the one event property and add event listener property will both register event listeners. With one event, it allows for one event handler function to be attached to the event target. However, with the event listener method, we can add multiple event handler functions. Oh, so in later exercises, we'll be using add event listener syntax, but we wanted to also introduce the one event syntax because both are widely used. All right. So play around with the view and close elements to meet the Codecademy mascot, Cody. Cody is super happy you made it this far, and they need your help. Right now, the open function makes the Cody and close elements visible by changing their display properties to block. The hide function hides the same elements by assigning none value to the display properties. Cody wants you to create a function named textChange that changes the text in the view element to hello world. Okay, hello Cody. All right, let's do that. Text change equals, we don't need parameters for that. And so view button, so view dot inner HTML equals hello world. Cody's too happy not to hide something. Yeah. Ah. I don't know. I don't trust overly happy people. I've had this when I was working in Sweden. I had this coworker. She was extremely happy all the time. And so one time we had a very stressful, let's say, afternoon at the restaurant that I was working on. Everybody was just pissed, everybody was grumpy, everybody was on edge. And she was walking around. In the beginning of the day she was happy. And as the day went on, she's like uh had a less and less of a smile on her face until eventually I'm just doing my thing and one of the coworkers comes over and he's like, um, she's she stormed out. She like screamed at the customer and then stormed out and went home. I'm like, what? What happened? And they didn't really know all the details. But yeah, the gist of it is that she snapped at a customer and then stormed off home. So I was like, okay. And I've been working with that person for like roughly 2 years, and I've never seen that kind of behavior ever. All right, next we have to create a function named textReturn that changes the text of the view element variable back to view. All right, so if we actually call text change, oh, it changes. Okay. Okay. Const text return view dot inner HTML equals view. Now assign text change as an event handler function to a click event fired on the view variable and run your code. Okay, so view dot add event handler, add event listener, add event listener, add event listener, and then we do click and text change. Boom, boom. Okay, so now we do the same with close. And instead of view, we do close. And instead of text change, we do text return. Boom, 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 boom. Done. Removing event handlers. The remove event listener method is used to reverse the event listener method. This method stops the event target from listening for an event to fire when it no longer needs to. Okay. Takes two arguments, event type and the event handler function. Okay. Because there can be multiple event handler functions associated with a particular event, remove event listener needs both the exact type name, the exact event type name, and the name of the event handler you want to remove. If add event listener was provided an anonymous function, then that event listener cannot be removed. Okay. Oh, it's a neat way, I guess, to protect your quote unquote events. So like if you don't want to get them accidentally deleted, if someone else works on your code, you just assign them with anonymous functions. Might be tedious, but check out this website that shows your daily fortune. But the website is broken. Oh no. You should only be able to see your daily fortune once, but you will see that You can keep pressing the button to get a new fortune. You need to use the remove event listener method after a fortune is displayed. Inside the show fortune function, add a remove event listener to prevent the new fortune from being displayed when a user tries to click the button element. Okay. So just as straightforward as button remove event listener, click and fortune selector. No. Fortune selector, click, remove event listener, button. Oh, show fortune. Show woe. What? Still not good. Add a remove event listener to prevent the new fortune from being displayed when a user tries to click the button element. Button, remove event listener, click, and show fortune. C# has type checker, so it's nicer to learn. You're free to switch to TypeScript. Then if you want to do web. Yeah, I don't know about TypeScript just yet. Because, okay, you weren't here for that, but I was on a job interview today. And essentially they were like, it's a nice company. It seems like a nice company. And I'm sort of interested in applying. But they have like a specific tech stack that they want me to strengthen my skills in before they feel comfortable giving me a chance. So essentially what we're gonna do, like I said, probably I'll do it today, is I'm gonna build a custom learning path that I'm gonna follow to get up to the level that they need me to get up to based on what they work with. Which will be like a variant of C and other things. Among them .NET, JavaScript, and whatnot. Inside the show fortune function. Add to prevent the new fortune from being displayed. Let my string equals a world. From there in TypeScript, you won't be able to assign anything else than a string to that variable. Just a small example. Here at TS prevents bugs in your apps. Oh, that's nice. But I guess it also limits you a little bit, no? Because like if you want to handle multiple types, you will have to have multiple variables. Can you use box type for that or something? I guess, yeah. Good point. Const multiple string or number. Is that the box type? Okay, we're getting off track. You guys talk TypeScript. I'll focus on JavaScript. Okay, so I am right. Show fortune. We're doing fortune selector, and on click we do show fortune. No, I mean this should work. Button, remove event listener, click show fortune. Oh, I added the wrong damn thing. Semicolon. The curse of streaming. Guys, you're not a curse. You're a blessing. Okay? You bless my days by being here, by sacrificing the time of your day to come here, talk to my stupid brain, and tell me all about these programming things that I would probably not learn otherwise. Or maybe I would, but maybe after years and years and years. So, thank you. Thank you, Chad. Beautiful, smart, and loving person will be coming into your life. See? Even the fortune checker knows about you guys. You would for sure after a week of completing your course, but we slow you down? No, not really. I mean, no, not really. I wouldn't have completed this course in a week either way. Trust me. This is a 100-hour course according to Codecademy. 100-hour course. It took me close to a month to finish a 39-hour course on Codecademy. So, all right, we have event object properties. JavaScript stores events as event objects with their related data and functionalities as properties and methods. Let's read that again. JavaScript stores events as event objects with their related data and functionalities as properties and methods. Okay, so event essentially becomes an object, and event data becomes properties, and functionalities become methods. Okay. Okay. Takes you weeks to finish 10-hour courses. There's so much infos and tests to do. I mean, yeah. In the example above, when the click event is triggered on the event target, the event handler function receives event. The event object, the event handler function, so this, receives an event. The event object, which has information related to the click event. Then we log the time it took for the event to be triggered, since the document was loaded by accessing the .timestamp property of the event object. There are predetermined properties associated with event objects. You can call these properties to see information about the event. For example, target, reference to the element that the event is registered to. Okay, type, access the name of the event. Why type? Why not just name? But okay, and timestamp. Access the number of milliseconds that passed since the document loaded and the event was triggered. Okay. All right, Checkham. Thanks for coming out. See you. Good luck on your course. So everyone loves a good puppy picture. or a good puppy cam. Use what you've learned about event object properties to share this puppy photo with your friends. First, add a statement inside the share photo function that will change the display property of the event target to none. Remember that the event target is a DOM element you can use. You can access the display property by referencing style property first. Okay. So essentially, within the share function, share photo function, we need to change the display property of an event target to none. So event.target dot style dot display equals none. Is that the case? Yeah. All right. Next, add a statement to the share photo function that will modify the text element to state the number of milliseconds from the DOM loading to the event firing. Okay. So add a statement to the share photo function that will modify the text element. Oh, so event.target dot inner HTML equals event dot timestamp. No. Oh, the text. Wait a sec. We're passing in the event. Oh, okay. Hmm. Is it just text? That doesn't make sense. Because here, because we have a function, we're passing in an event. An event essentially is what? Just a click, hover, and so on. So event.target.style display equals none. So that works. And this works. Huh. Okay, fine. Now to create functionality for the event object, assign the share photo function to a click event on the share element. Okay, so share dot add event listener. We have click and we have share photo. So the event in this case, right? We're passing in an event into the function. And then we use that to target the style, target the display of the element. Of the element that triggered the event. Right. But then we can also access this because these are global variables. Right. Okay, I get it. Oh my god, it's 4 o'clock already? Holy crap, time flies. Okay, I guess we are done for today. Jesus. The time passed like nobody's business. No, Thor, don't do anything with that. Holy crap. I guess we will finish. I guess we won't. Well, we probably should finish this. It's still sort of uh, part of JavaScript, and we've already done like half of it. So might as well finish that tomorrow. But like I said, tomorrow we'll probably be jumping into a little bit of a different uh, direction. Or maybe not. I'll see. I'll build the custom learning path today, and we'll see what we see. So pet the dog, please. I will once the stream is over. Extension Morp. Every evening you come in here demanding that I pet the dog. You pet the dog when you come back home. Okay. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Kek, thank you for coming out today. Same to Checkham. And same to everybody who stopped by, dropped a message, and so on and so forth. So yeah, thank you. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thor, say bye.